It's not just a game, it's a reckoning.
Week 16 is here, the Green Bay Packers are in the crosshairs, and the Chicago Bears aren't just preparing for a football game, they are preparing for war. We have massive roster shakeups, a quarterback who is calling his shot, and a defensive leader demanding that you, the fans, turn Soldier Field into a house of horrors for the opposition. But before we break down exactly who just landed in Chicago, I need you to do one thing. If you want to see the Bears absolutely dominate Green Bay this weekend, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with that notification bell turned on.
Hit that like button right now to show the algorithm that Chicago is ready to take over.
We are building the ultimate Bears community here, and we need you in the huddle.
Now, let's get right into the trenches.
The front office has been busy, making 2 critical roster moves just days before kickoff, 1 signing and 1 release.
The headline here is the arrival of a physical freak of nature, Dominique Hampton.
The Bears have had their eye on him for a while, working him out multiple times, and they finally pulled the trigger.
This isn't just a depth piece, this is a chess piece.
Listed as a linebacker and defensive back, Hampton brings that modern hybrid violence to the defense.
Just look at the numbers.
He is 6 feet 3 inches, 220 pounds, and only 25 years old. He was a standout at Washington and a draft pick for the Commanders earlier this year. But what jumps off the page is his speed. He runs a sub 4.540. That is terrifying speed for a guy that big. He played this hybrid role in college and in Washington, and it's clear that someone in the building, likely Dennis Allen, sees him as a weapon we can deploy to confuse opposing offenses.
He's fast, he's big, and he's a bear.
But to make room for a beast like that, someone had to go, and the name on the chopping block might surprise you. Stay with me. Let's dig a little deeper into the numbers, because what Hampton did in his final season at Washington is honestly absurd. We aren't just talking about a guy who filled a spot on the field, we are talking about a tackling machine. He racked up 109 total tackles, 65 of them solo stops, which led his entire conference. On top of that, he showed he can play the ball in the air with 2 interceptions and 7 pass deflections.
Now, sure, you don't see the sacks or tackles for loss popping off the stat sheet, but the scouting report is crystal clear. This guy is a ball hawk, and when he hits you, you feel it.
But here is the absolute best part of this signing, the X factor that nobody is talking about: chemistry. Hampton spent years playing alongside Kyler Gordon in college. He isn't walking into a room of strangers, he's walking in with a direct line to one of our top playmakers. That connection could be the key to him learning the scheme at lightning speed if he gets the call-up this week. It's an early move, so keep a very close eye on the transaction wire over the next 48 hours. However, the NFL is a zero-sum game, and adding a young talent means saying goodbye to a respected veteran. To make this work, the Bears had to release Jalen Reeves-Maybin from the practice squad.
This is a guy who has earned respect in every locker room he's stepped into, including this one.
It's a tough blow for the depth chart right now, but knowing how this league works, I wouldn't be shocked if this isn't the last time we see his name in Chicago. But for now, the roster has shifted. We have to address the other side of this roster move, and I'm going to be honest with you, this one stings. To make the numbers work, the Bears have parted ways with Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
If you know the name, you know this isn't just a roster filler leaving the building.
JRM is a 30-year-old veteran, a Tennessee Vol product, and a former 4th-round pick who has been grinding in this league since 2017. But beyond the bio, he is a legitimate leader. We are talking about a former captain, a special teams Pro Bowler, and a mentor who set a massive example for the younger guys in that locker room. He did a solid job against the Browns, and losing that kind of veteran presence is tough.
And let's not pretend he can't play defense.
Look at his 2021 season with Detroit when he got significant snaps at linebacker, 82 total tackles, 53 solo, for tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles.
The guy is a playmaker, plain and simple.
Now, he is off the roster for the moment, but knowing how this front office operates, I wouldn't close the door on a return just yet. Roster gymnastics happen all the time, so we will see where he lands.
For now, we wish him nothing but the best.
He is a pro's pro. But as we wave goodbye to JRM and welcome Dominique Hampton, we have to shift our focus to the only thing that matters right now.
Green Bay sucks. There, I said it. And you know what? The team knows it, too. The vibe coming out of Hallis Hall isn't nervousness, it's confidence. We've heard from Ben Johnson, we've heard from Caleb Williams, and they are locked in. But the person who really set the tone for this weekend is Grady Jarrett. Grady isn't just talking about game plans, he is calling you out. He issued a direct challenge to the fanbase. He said he needs Soldier Field to be absolutely hostile. He wants that stadium rocking, shaking, and so loud that the Packers can't even hear themselves think. I couldn't agree more. The team is ready to bring the fire, the question is, are you? And that right there is why this upcoming matchup feels different. It's not just hype, it's reality. The Bears are sitting at 10-4. They are staring down the barrel of an NFC North title, and for the first time in a long time, they control their own destiny. If they want the crown, they just have to go take it. Head coach Ben Johnson knows it, and he knows he can't do it alone. He talked about the atmosphere last week, noting that even with 54,000 people in the stands, he felt the energy more than ever. Now, remember, Soldier Field holds 66,000. So if 54,000 can bring that kind of heat, imagine what a sold-out, frenzied crowd is going to do to Green Bay this weekend. The city is absolutely electric right now. We are on top, and we need to stay there. But beyond the standings, you have to love the culture that is bubbling up inside Hallis Hall. You can see the chemistry, specifically between Caleb Williams and his protection. I don't know if you saw this, but Caleb has officially handed out Avengers nicknames to his offensive line, and it is perfect. Ozzy Trapilo? He's Wolverine. Joe Thuney? The savvy vet is Doctor Strange. Drew Dalman is holding it down as the Hulk. Jonah Jackson is the Red Hulk. Darnell Wright? He's Bucky. And you know exactly why. Flashback to last season when he blocked Max Crosby with basically one arm. That is Winter Soldier tough. This isn't just fun and games, it shows a unit that is truly bonded. Compared to last year, it's night and day. Shout out to the coaching staff, specifically Dan Rauschar and the vets like Thuney, for setting that standard. And speaking of standards, let's touch on what Ben Johnson had to say about his QB1. He was honest, he's still learning Caleb. They've only had 14 games together, they haven't even hit the one-year mark as a duo yet. But they are clicking. Johnson admitted they are still figuring out the best ways to get Caleb into an early groove, saying, sometimes they will be the easier variety. Other times not. We are still working through it. He's young, he's hungry, and he's learning. But most importantly, he's winning. But here is the quote that should have every Bears fan ready to run through a brick wall. Ben Johnson said it plain and simple, the game is slowing down for him. You absolutely love to hear it. And let's just take a step back and look at the reality here. We are 14 games into this season, and this duo has led the Bears to a 10-4 record. The partnership works. Period. We are watching history in real time, folks. Caleb Williams has now become the first Bears quarterback to throw for 20 or more touchdowns in consecutive seasons since Jay Cutler did it back in 2014 and 2015. That is a decade-long drought of consistency that Caleb has snapped in his first 2 years. On top of that, he has the fewest interceptions per 1,000 passing attempts, sitting at just 12. The kid is locked in. Now, I know the box score watchers might point out that his completion percentage is technically down compared to his rookie year. But if you actually watch the tape, you know that is misleading. His yards are up. His passing touchdowns are up. His rushing yards and touchdowns are up. Ben Johnson is finally letting Caleb be Caleb. And regarding that completion percentage? It's actually a sign of maturity. I was breaking this down recently. Caleb is throwing the ball away when the play isn't there instead of forcing a turnover. That is winning football. But we also have to be honest about the help he's getting. The completion percentage would look a lot prettier if the receivers held onto the ball. Romo Duns has 90 targets but only 44 receptions, not all of those are errant throws. We've seen drops from him, drops from Olamide Zakos, and drops from Cole Kmet. The wideouts have to clean it up. Despite that, Caleb says he feels the improvement, and the tape backs him up. We are seeing better throws and smarter decisions.
Nobody thought the Bears would be 10-4 and fighting for the NFC North crown right now, but here we are. The progression is real, the confidence is high, and the arrow is pointing straight up. If you actually do the math, factoring in those smart throwaways and the drops we just talked about, Caleb's completion percentage realistically sits in that 61 to 63% range. The box score might lie, but the film doesn't. The improvement is undeniable. But now, all eyes turn to Week 16. The message has been sent, and frankly, Ben Johnson didn't even have to say much. He put it perfectly: there doesn't need to be much of a message. They know what's at stake. The locker room gets it. They know this is the moment. And Caleb Williams? He isn't shying away from the pressure, he's embracing it. He came out and said, "We feel like we let them off the hook." That right there is the mindset you want. He's excited, the team is hungry, and they are ready to play their brand of football. Make no mistake, this is the biggest game this franchise has played since 2018.
The wait is over. The atmosphere is going to be electric.
We have to give credit to the staff for putting us in a position to take the North, but now they have to finish the job. Johnson also noted a key variable: the Packers are vulnerable. With Micah out, the dynamic of their defense changes. The Bears have to be prepared to exploit that. You have to plan accordingly, and you have to go in there swinging.
There is no room for hesitation. I absolutely love the confidence of this team.
We are seeing a quarterback who knows when to attack and when to live to fight another down.
That is winning football.
This team is special, and Sunday cannot get here fast enough.
That is going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for rocking with us here at Just Another Year Chicago Bears. I'm Nick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.